Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Lauren, and on this channel we talk about books, and today's video is one that I'm really excited about. A new month is approaching, so that means new books are being released. And in this video, we are going to talk about all the books coming out in March that are on my radar that I'm excited about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. The first book I am excited about comes out on March 3rd. It is called The Sisters of Book Row by Shelley Noble. It says 1915 Manhattan's Book Row. An eclectic jumble of 40 bookshops along 4th Avenue is the mecca for rare book buyers from around the world and the haunt of locals looking for a bargain. It is also the target of the most vicious censor in American history, Anthony Comstock, and home to 3 sisters who vow to stop him. For the 3 Applebaum sisters, the narrow 4-storied Arcadia Rare Bookshop is the only home they've ever known. Olivia, the oldest, is an expert in restoring rare manuscripts. Daphne, the outgoing middle sister, oversees the retail shop and is a favorite with the customers. Celia, the youngest, is left to dust the catalogs, but often sneaks out to do heaven knows what. Little do her sisters know, Celia has joined a group of young people who secretly print and distribute articles on women's health by hiding them within the pages of ordinary cookbooks, household hints, and sewing patterns despite the personal risk. Meanwhile, the Comstock laws threaten anybody who owns or circulates obscene, lewd, or lascivious publications. Even classic literature or fine art could send a person to jail. In the face of such oppression, Celia and the booksellers of Book Row band together, but secrets and a mysterious stranger mean the fate of the famed Book Row is anything but secure. I thought that sounded really, really interesting. This is, I want to say it's fiction, but based on, like, it's a novel, but it's based on true events, so maybe like historical fiction. I just thought that sounded really, really fun. Another book coming out on March 3rd is To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. I actually chose this book as my book of the month for my Alorial subscription, so I'm really excited to be receiving this book. And it says, enter the brutal world of Inlock, a prison where the wealthy hunt the inmates for sport. The first novel in an electrifying dystopian romance series, this high-octane debut about forbidden love, found family, and a fight for survival will leave you breathless. In the city of Dividum, the law is simple. Commit a crime and your punishment is a life sentence in Inlock. Raven Thorn is Dividium's most notorious bounty hunter, living on the edge of society. But when her younger brother, Jed, is sentenced to Inlock, Raven will do anything to save him, even if it means getting herself arrested. Now trapped in a prison where danger lurks around every corner, Raven must use all her cunning and strength to protect Jed and herself if she is to complete her perilous mission. But there's one obstacle she never expected: the prison guard who stirs something deep inside her. The man she should hate, the man whose true motives seem impossible to pin down. In a world where trust is a weapon and love is a liability, Raven must decide if she will risk everything to tear down a vicious system. I just thought that sounded delightful. Another book coming out on March 3rd is The Library of Amerlin by Kaylin Josephson. And can we just take a moment to appreciate the cover of this book? Wow. So it says, a brilliant con artist and a secretive librarian collide in New York Times bestselling author Kaylin Josephson, an enchanting adult fantasy debut packed with twist, tricks, slow burn romantic tension, and magical creatures. Former con artist Kassira expected to spend her life as a soldier, miserably working off her prison sentence by hunting down magical creatures for the fanatical kingdom of Kalthos. But when the Kalish ambassador arrives with a non-negotiable assignment, Cassira finds herself swept into the biggest con of her life, infiltrating the Library of Amerlin. As the heart of all magic and the protector of magical creatures throughout the Six Kingdoms, the library is historically, politically neutral. Cassira is meant to pose as the new assistant to spy for the ambassador and destabilize the library from the inside, clearing the way to dethrone its librarian. But when she arrives, Cassira learns that the library is not all she was told it would be. Neither is the prickly, handsome librarian Alistair, whose own monstrous secrets are about to catch up with him. Swept into the enchanting world of the library, Cassira's reluctant con is jeopardized by her growing affection for the wondrous life the library promises, and by her complicated, begrudging attraction to Alistair. As the ambassador's game closes in, Cassira must decide where her loyalties lie, to her newfound home or to her own survival. That sounds good. Another book coming out on March 3rd. March 3rd is a busy day. Is The Heartless One by Emma Hamm. This is book 2 in the Grave Singer series. Book 1 is The Deathless One. And if you watched my March TBR, that should be published already. So if you watch that, you'll know that that book is on my March TBR. So I don't want to read the synopsis of this book because I don't want it to spoil anything for me. But if you have already read The Heartless One and you enjoyed that book and you're excited for book 2, just know that it comes out on March 3rd. Another book coming out on March 3rd is Midnight on the Celestial by Julia Alexandra. And it says, Ro DeMarcus has never been afraid of the dead. Her power to summon spirits has awed the guests of her esteemed family's gala for as long as she can remember. Her future is certain, and her gift will be another shining jewel in the DeMarcus legacy. But when she fails her realm's trial to keep her magic and is deemed too dangerous for society, she faces a harrowing choice: give up her gift and serve a punishment sentence aboard the Celestial, a luxurious magical cruise ship where staff members compete for guest votes to earn a coveted retrial. As a concierge, Rose struggles the demands of affluent guests, cruel bosses, the suspicion that an infuriatingly handsome, skilled performer, Ivander, is determined to keep her from a retrial. But the true dangers surface after her shift ends, when the Celestial transforms into halls of nightmares that kill staff members after dark. Faced with the reality of serving abroad, Ro begins to question the ship's trials and the system that put her there. But the moment Ro sinks into the ship's dark history, she's wrongfully framed for a guest's murder. Vowing to conjure her own second chance, Ro will use whatever power she has to uncover the secrets of the ship, her family, and their entwined bloody past before she becomes the Celestial's next victim. That sounds so interesting. Another book coming out on March 3rd is The Woman and Her Stars by Penny Haw. I thought this book sounded really cool. So it says, Caroline Herschel has always lived in the shadows, beholden by her wildly popular older brother, William, who rescued her from servitude. She's worked hard to build a life for herself, one where she can go unnoticed and repay the debt she believes she owes. But when her brother becomes obsessed with sweeping the heavens, everything changes. Newly appointed as the king's astronomer, William is rushed away from the bustling streets of Bath to the quiet countryside of Windsor, when Caroline makes a discovery that could send her right back to the people she was rescued from. She has no choice but to leave her carefully constructed life and follow her brother. Taking up the position as William's assistant, Caroline resolves to learn everything she can about astronomy, but the more she understands, the more she falls in love with her telescope, and soon she discovers she might be good at science, great even, and that the stars could offer her the freedom she's always secretly wanted. When it's clear that Caroline is just as much as the astronomer as her brother, she realizes she must break free from the life she has lived and find her own path in the night sky. So this one is based on the true story of Caroline Herschel. The Woman and Her Stars shines a light on a woman who was raised to believe she was worth nothing more than to serve others, but whose genius and resolve made her one of the world's leading astronomers astronomers, an awe-inspiring story set within the societal boundaries of the Georgian era. It's a hopeful journey of self-discovery, familial bonds, and passion. That sounded so good, so sweet. Okay, moving on to books that are going to be released on March 5th. The first book we have is The Last Starborn Seer by Vanita Constantine. This is book 1 in the Star branded chronicles, and another gorgeous book cover. I mean, goodness. So it says, the last surviving member of an ancient bloodline, she's shunned for the volatile star-born magic that grants her prophetic visions and is slowly corrupting her mind. Leilani bears the legacy of the Sister Touch, who unleashed the Sickening, a deadly curse that's dragged the 4 realms of Arcelia into war and ruin. Heir to a tainted throne, Leilani's father brokers an arranged marriage with her childhood rival to wrest the line of succession away from her. And to make matters worse, her mother's health is failing day by day, and Leilani believes her magic is to blame. When a prophecy reveals the existence of a relic that could end the sickening, Leilani seizes her chance to escape the court and reclaim her fate. To recover the lost scripture, she must survive a perilous journey to the Astral Mountain and perform an ancient blood rite, one that demands unity between the feuding realms. If she's to succeed, Leilani must forge an uneasy alliance with sworn enemies, outwit rebel forces, and hide her growing feelings for a rival envoy, all under the gaze of her watchful fiancé. But something sinister hunts them through the mountains, a faceless specter with a centuries-old grudge, determined to claim the lost specter for herself. As darkness possesses her mind, Leilani must confront the truth of her magic before it consumes her and everything she loves. Sounds really good. Okay, moving on to March 10th. We have The Wings That Bind by Briar Bolin. This is the Bloodwing Academy Book 3. This is another book that I don't want to read too much into the synopsis because I have not read Book 2 yet, but it says a second dragon has awoken, her heart tainted and her power commandeered by 2 ruthless high-bloods whose cruelty knows no bounds. With Bloodwing Academy in turmoil and a new headmaster no one saw coming, only one thing is, this is going to be one hell of a term. Yes, I'm excited. Another book coming out on March 10th is Ruinous Creatures by Jessie Cole Jackson, another stunning book cover. It says, in a sanctuary for magical creatures hidden deep within a valley, magic is born from the bones of extraordinary creatures. For generations, a privileged few have siphoned this magic by wearing the skulls of these creatures and wielding their power. Adela spends her days meticulously preparing these skulls to be matched, ensuring the magic endures and the valley sustains. But when she discovers 2 phoenix skulls, creatures she had believed only legend, she can't resist the pull to their dormant magic. Defying the warnings of her mentor, Adela awakens the skulls, unleashing a shockwave of power that throws the valley into chaos. Meanwhile, determined novitiate Kyan prepares for the upcoming matching ceremony, but harbors as he is only participating in order to destroy the magic of the skulls, to avenge the death of his parents at the hand of this tradition of power. As Adela and Kyan's fates intertwine in the matching hut, the connection between them grows deeper and the power of the phoenix skulls grow louder. An impulsive kiss seals their fate, to each other and each to one of the phoenix skulls. As they grapple with the consequences of their powerful new magic, their fated connection becomes the key to either the valley's salvation or its ultimate collapse. Moving on to March 17th, we have Enamorata by Ava Reed. This is going to be book 1 in a duology called House of Teeth. It says, once there was an island where the dead walked the earth. and 7 noble houses ruled by the arcane secrets of necromancy. A conqueror's blade brought them low, burning their libraries, killing their lords, and extinguishing their eldritch magic. But defiant against the new order stands the House of Teeth and its last living members. Beautiful Marozia and the heiress to the house, and her cousin, the uncanny Lady Agnes. Though she has not spoken a word in 7 years, Agnes is the true carrier of the house's legacy, and she has her orders. She must recapture the secrets of death magic and avenge her family's fallen honor. She must arrange the betrothal of her beloved cousin, Ms. Marozia, to Luprind. I guess that's how you would say his name. Heir to the Conqueror's throne, for access to the forbidden library to his grotesquely grand castle. Revenge burns in Agnes's heart, but so do stranger passions, and it is Luprind's, the Golden Prince, who speaks to her soul. This passion is as treasonous as it is powerful, poisoning the kingdom's roots and threatening to tear the already shattered realm in two. For Agnes's final order is the gravest. She must not fall in love. Okay, I think this book sounds really, really interesting. It's going to be, from what I saw on Goodreads, little like genre tags. It's dark. There's a plethora of trigger warnings. It's apparently not going to have a happy ending, or there's a lot of unhappy situations happening. So definitely would read the trigger warnings for this book because there were a handful. So just want to throw that out there. Okay, moving on to March 24th, we have Wolfworm by T. Kingfisher. I love T. Kingfisher, so I'm really excited. The year is 1899, and Sonia Wilson is a scientific illustrator without work, prospects, or hope. When the reclusive Dr. Halder offers her a position illustrating his vast collection of insects, Sonia jumps at the chance to move into his North Carolina manor and put her talents to use. But soon enough, she finds that there are darker things at work than the Carolina woods. What happened to her predecessor, Halder's wife? Why are animals acting so strangely, and what is behind the peculiar locals' whispers about blood thieves? With the aid of the housekeeper and a local healer, Sonia discovers that Halder's entomological studies have taken him down a dark road full of parasitic maggots that burrow into human flesh. Ew. And that his monstrous experiments may grow to encompass his newest illustrator as well. This is described to be a dark horror. I just love T. Kingfisher's writing. I think that she just really knows how to bring a story to life. She is an automatic buy for me. I just love her books. So I cannot wait for this one to come out. I don't typically gravitate towards horror stories, but there's something so like magical and almost like lyrical about her writing that even though it is creepy and it's horrific and it's kind of gross at sometimes, it's just such a fun story to read every single time. Another book coming out on March 24th that I'm excited about is Honeysuckle by Bar Friedman Tell. I might be saying that first name wrong. I apologize if I am, but can we talk about this cover? How beautiful and eerie and enchanting and just wonderful. It says, once upon a time, on the edge between meadow and forest, there was a lonely child with only his older sister for company. In exchange for being left in peace, his sister made him a playmate day, a girl woven from flowers and words. And for the first time, this boy, Rory, had a friend. Rory couldn't be happier until he learns that Day is a short-lived creature. At the end of each season, she must be woven back together or fall gruesomely apart. And every time Day falls apart might be her last. As Rory and Day grow older and the lines between friendship and romance begin to blur, Rory becomes desperate to break this cycle of bloom and decay. But the farther Rory pushes his research and experiments to lengthen Day's existence, the more Day begins to wonder just how much control she really has over her own life. This story is a loosely reimagination of I don't know how to say this word. Blodeuwedd. I don't know, I'll put it right here. Blodeuwedd from Welsh mythology. Honeysuckle is an entrancing, innovative, and unsettling debut. Okay, fun. Another book we have coming out on March 24th is Daughters of Crow by Mark Lawrence. This is book 1 in the Kindness Academy. Another breathtakingly beautiful front cover. It's giving me like Greek goddess mythology vibes, and I love it. It says, set a thief to catch a thief, set a monster to punish a monster. The Academy of Kindness exists to create agents of retribution cast in the image of Furies, known as the kindly ones, against whom even the gods hesitate to stand. Each year, 100 girls are sold to the Academy. 10 years later, only 3 will emerge. The Academy's halls run with blood. The few that survive its decade-long nightmare have been forged on the sands of the Wound Garden. They have learned ancient secrets among the necrotic fumes of the Bone Garden. They leave its gates as avatars of vengeance, bound to uphold the oldest of laws. Only the most desperate would sell their child to the kindness. But Rue, she sold herself, and now, a long and bloody lifetime later, just as she has discovered peace, war has been brought to the old woman's doorstep. And that was a mistake. I wonder if our female main character is going to be like later in life? Huh. How interesting. Alrighty, you guys, well that does it for my anticipated releases coming out in March. If I didn't mention a book in today's video that you guys are excited about that's releasing in March, please let me know down in the comments below. This was only 13 books, and you know just as well as I do that there's way more than 13 books being released in the month of March. So let me know what you guys are excited about. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one.